Why I wrote my own app in the age of AI as a non-10x engineer. As a man who already found it all so tiresome and now finds himself more tired than previously thought possible, I wrote my own mobile app in my free time. In the third or so year of AI taking our jobs, why is this the project to finish? As a software engineer with a sea of unfinished projects, why choose this one? I believe it requires a degree of passion to truly finish a side project. The name of the app is FilmPeaks. Film, I like movies. Peaks, I like to go hiking and go outside and get away from my desk every once in a while. Also, I like to continue talking about movies for longer than my friends do, and they often have bad takes. Another important reason is I would like to contribute rather than consume. It's too easy these days to continuously doom scroll on whatever app you choose. And as a software engineer, it's important to stay current. First of all, why is this on YouTube? I created an app, so why not just release it? Furthermore, there's already a plethora of channels out there about building in public or follow these 10 steps to make your app go viral. And to make things worse, because of AI and algorithm changes, channels are bleeding viewers faster than ever. Well, I use YouTube the most out of all subscription services that I own. I use it to learn constantly or for entertainment. And I want to get a little peek behind the curtain of how things work. And at the very least, improve my public speaking ability a little bit. I made a tool to review movies. So I'm going to put my money where my mouth is and add some reviews to this channel so I can come along with you guys. I want to break this video up into 3 parts. Why I created the app, what is the app, and then some thoughts and discussion at the end. What exactly is FilmPeaks and why I made it? Has anybody ever said to you, man, I really enjoyed that movie until the end. The ending really killed it for me. Do you understand the difference between critic and audience reviews? Do you not have time to watch a 30+ minute video about a movie or TV show? Well, I aim to help visualize the quality and pinpoint where a movie or TV show peaks and valleys throughout. And before I continue, I want to address the usage of AI. I do consider this a handcrafted or artisanal made app, but that is not to say that no AI was used, which we'll get to in the further sections. All right, we're going to come over to this view now, just for the sake of ease. I'm going to show the app off at just in an emulator mode instead of the full, physical device and whatnot. But this is kind of what it is. This is FilmPeaks. Whenever you first load the app, this is what you'll see. You'll be taken into the Discover tab. This is for you to discover things that you want to review, see what's popular right now, find things to review, and go from there. So you do need an account to be able to leave a review. That is one thing that is important to mention, but you do not need an account to be able to view stuff in here. You get the usual functionality here. You can search for movies, and you kind of would see the basic stuff. So, you can see the description, you can play the trailer. If there's any React Native devs out there, show me how to properly use the YouTube player, because this does work in Android, just not on iOS. I don't know. I'll get back to that. So you'd see the usual stuff in here. You can see where things are streaming. You can look at character bios, see what else they're in. If you like an actor, see what else they're in and review that too. But this is kind of the important part right here. You can see that there are 8 reviews left for John Wick 4. And I do have the ability to toggle this on or off, the ability to hide the peaks if you consider that a spoiler. But by clicking that, you can see what reviews were left. The white line is the average of all reviews left, and the gray line is the score that you left. So you can compare your score to the average of other people. And it'll be interesting to see how that lines up. But so this movie already has reviews. If I find one that does not, let's say We Bury the Dead. So I just watched this movie. I want to come in here and I want to leave a review. There are none yet. So I will add a review for this. And this is the major part for reviews. We're going to be tracking 5 different points: the opening, the rising action, the middle, the climax, and the resolution. Not every movie is going to be the same. Not everybody's going to have the same intuition of exactly when those, points might change. I give you a kind of rough estimate of when these things might happen, but again, it's not going to be the same every time. Just use your best judgment. And so let's say, I'm watching this movie and, the intro's, just all right, it's pretty good. The rising action, you're kind of losing me. But now in the middle, okay, things are really picking up. This is cool. And like, dang, that was a really good climax. And the resolution, yeah, I'd say it's about the same. I think it ended pretty well. So we can kind of see, started off average, dipped a little bit, and then the later half is whenever things really kicked in and pulled me in. So then, if you also make YouTube reviews, I give you the option to post your YouTube review link here if you want that sort of thing. But if you don't worry about it. And of course, you can leave a review. Maybe go into more depth than that, but for time's sake, here we go. So if I submit this review, it's going to create us and kind of kick us over a step forward onto the second tab, which is for reviews. So this is what a typical review will look like. You can see who made it, when they made it. You can click on this to go look at that movie. And we can see I just left this. And we can see the description. You can upvote and downvote things, and you can leave comments. But if I hit back, this is the main view for the reviews tab. We are in the latest section on this tab. So reviews will show up newest to oldest. And we can see I just left this review for We Bury the Dead. And there's some other reviews. We can see the scores here. As people review things, this list will get updated. We can kind of see what is the most popular within the past 30 days. So this is really just what is being reviewed the most right now. And you do have the ability to upvote, downvote reviews. So if somebody leaves a really bad review and everybody downvotes it, it'll show up here for the past 30 days as well. But that's kind of the gist for this. You can see what reviews are being left, what reviews are popular, and again, you can search for stuff on here as well. And if you want, you can just click right into a review and get that going. The third tab here is just for you. This is your profile. You can search for other users here. And you can follow, unfollow, see their scores, what reviews they left, followers, who's following you, the reactions that you've left, that type of thing. If you do have a YouTube channel, it'll show up here. It'll link you over to that. And in the settings section, that's where you update all this stuff. You can toggle on or off hiding those scores like I showed earlier. But that's kind of it. That is FilmPeaks at an MVP state, ready to do more. See you at the top. All right, section 3. I'm going to name this one the riff section. These are just some thoughts that I had, some observations, just some things that I wanted to talk about. I feel like today it is harder than ever to succeed by just doing your job. Unless you're already a 10x engineer, or maybe if you're in a big city with lots of opportunities. But how many of these thriving companies exist and are still hiring? It seems like all you hear about these days are Meta's laying off 10,000 employees, Google's laying off 20,000 employees, Amazon's coming out with the most historically large layoff in history with 30,000 employees. Granted, a lot of those were mid-level management people, but you get the point. Basically, if it's a big tech company, there's layoffs. And that morale hit kind of reverberates everywhere else. I enjoy not living in a major city, but a lot of companies these days are re-implementing return to office policies. I mentioned earlier that it's easier than ever to build something yourself today. But on the flip side, that puts you in competition with all the vibe coders out there. How many videos do you see on YouTube of, I vibe coded an app with 10K MRR in only 8 hours, and similar titles? They're everywhere. My take on that is you kind of really need to know what you're doing in order to use AI efficiently. There's only so many times I can be told, you're absolutely right, let me fix that, before I just go back to doing it myself. Now with that, I did mention that I just have a plethora of unfinished projects. And chances are if you're a software developer, you at one point wanted to be a game developer too. So I've got plenty of dead games and dead projects sitting out there. Now, this is all from the perspective of based on your definition, a middle-aged developer. But people my age are weathered. They can look back now. Everybody's exhausted from what they just did, and now they need time to recover. Or everybody's exhausted from what they currently have going on. Or everybody's exhausted just thinking about what's next. It's just too easy these days to constantly doom. So this project is just something that I feel passionate about. I wanted to be able to finish a side project. I wanted to be able to learn something new. And I needed to do something just positive. I mentioned earlier, I want to be able to contribute rather than consume. It's important to do something that, gives you a sense of accomplishment. So all the negativity aside, this is just my little place to do something on my own. And I invite you to come check it out too. If you want to come look at the MVP, share your thoughts, use it, that would be awesome. So if you come along for the journey, I'll see you at the top.